Alright, so I'm making a follow-up video. Excuse me. Making a follow-up video to that first video I made where I kind of unboxed these, or not even really unboxed, but just tested them out and showed you the stuck button. So here it is. Here's this blue one that I got. This was my first one. So I was able to fix this one after that first video. You won't notice the fix because there's nothing visually different on it. Let's see if I can get that to focus a little better on that. No, better. There we go. So here, this button would stick. So if I'd hit it, it would get stuck. But now it doesn't. I've ran through about an hour's play, pretty hardcore play of Street Fighter 0, 2, some X-Men vs. Street Fighter, some Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. This would be Roundhouse or High Kick, and does no longer sticks. But what you can see is here's this one, and it's stuck right now. You'll see. It'll get stuck half the time. Oh, there it is again. So it still gets stuck. So this is a pretty easy fix. I'm going to kind of record this and see how it comes out. So you have to, of course, take these apart to do it. It's not the hardest thing to do, so I figured I'd record it. All you need is a screwdriver, and you're going to need either an exacto knife or a sharp blade. So let's go ahead and take this apart. This one's tighter. There we go. And these only have 5 screws in them. So you get that 5th one and you lift it out, and I'll just get these out. That 5th one. So this is the one membrane that isn't on a original Saturn, and this is the home and select, I guess, or yeah, select, and you can take a look there. See, it's a pretty good board. I don't have any major problems with the actual manufacturing of this board. There's the wireless antenna, home and select for Switch use or for other games, because you need a select button, which would be the minus on the Switch, and or for PS3, because these will work with the PS3. And yeah, I mean, it says revision C, which is interesting, but you got to be careful with that. That is it's like a sync button, or the light, actually. It's the light pipe, and that will get stuck or broken. I didn't do it on mine, but I did have a little trouble getting it to line up if I took it apart all the way, so just be wary when you do that. But that's all you need to do. You don't need to actually take this board out at all. So we can set this right here, and just take the membrane out. And honestly, unless you're having issues with other buttons, the only button you really need to work on is the C button, which would be that one right there. So pop that one out, and of course you can take all the buttons out if you feel like you're going to knock them all out. But what I did is, first off, I took the blade, and it gets stuck on the top, so it gets stuck right along this edge right here. So what I did is I just lightly, I'm not carving much plastic out, but I'm just lightly just remove a little bit. remove a little, like it's like mild shavings. You're hardly doing anything at all. You're just kind of cleaning off this edge. There's a little lip in there where I don't think the button actually sits. It just has a little lip. See that? So if you just kind of wear down this top section a little bit, you're just taking tiny little bits off. You're just cleaning it up, honestly. And you'll notice I'm barely getting any plastic off of there. You'll see. It sounds worse than what I'm actually doing. The plastic is actually harder than you think it is. There we go. So that's all I needed to do for that. Now the button, here's the top of the C's, which you're really worried about, right? That's the part that says. So what I did is I took an X-Acto knife and I just worked the side of the buttons. Just a tiny little bit. And again, I'm doing this. I shouldn't have to do this. Retrobit should have gotten a better mold. They should have definitely measured. I don't know what the issue is, honestly. But you'll notice it's more noticeable on this black button than it was on the blue one. But it's definitely, you'll notice that I'm scratching up the button a little bit. Working the button, just getting this varnish off. And again, once it's back in there, you won't even notice it. And I'll get all that excess off in a second. I'll flip it around. See that? Oh well. Let's show you here. Pull in. Right there. So you'll notice that I'm scratching up the button, but you won't notice when it's in the, as long as you're not scratching the top, it's just the sides here. And again, I want to do it for the top of the C, because if you notice, the C's got a little like a little serif right here on the edge. There, that means it's the top. So you want to work the top of the button. So again, I've only done the left. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to do in between the two pegs right here, and then this side. I don't know if it's like a micron of thickness that's causing it, because all I did was this much on the other one and it completely stopped. I haven't had the C button stick once on me since I did it last night, and trust me, I try to get it to stick. So that's all I did, is I just kind of scratched up the side. And again, you won't notice it once it's in there because the button doesn't stick up very much on this side. See, you would only notice it maybe that much, but once it's in there, cannot get it to stick. Before I could press down and get it to stick. Now it pops right back out. So the last thing I did, just to be safe, is I chamfered this edge a little bit. So this bottom edge right here of the button, just this edge right here, I chamfered it a little bit. I took a little bit off the edge of the button. Not a whole lot. So again, just a tiny bit. And again, you just clean it off. Grab a microfiber here. And so I'll just clean it off a little bit, make sure there's nothing stuck in there. But trust me, when I was using the button and pressing it, you could see plastic like shaving off while playing the game. So there was obviously something, some certain amount. So I'm going to put this button back in here, see if that was enough. And I'm going to go ahead and put this membrane back in there. And so this one needs to go back in, and it goes in with the little circles facing down. You'll notice which way it goes because there is a flat edge on this side. And the flat edge corresponds with this membrane right here. If you try to put the round one in, it'll hit. So flat edge down like that. Alright, we're going to set it in, and I'm going to try to see, you can hardly tell any of the scratches now. And again, it's more noticeable on the black one for sure, but that's it. That's all it took to fix it. Because it ain't sticking and it ain't staying down there anymore. So that's it. So then just pop your screws back in. And magnetic screwdrivers are the key here. Come on. Just use the magnet one to put them in. It's not the best for tightening. Seriously, you can fast forward all this. I probably will try to speed this up in post, or I'll just upload it like this because it doesn't really matter. Now, it's gotta make the plastic, gotta make the threads. These molded controllers don't have threads in the plastic, so you can tell that this will be like the second time that these screws have probably gone into these posts. Go. So you can see here, won't stick anymore. That's it. All these other ones never had a problem, but this C one would stick and it would stay down there. But now it doesn't. And honestly, I couldn't tell you which of the fixes does it, if it's the taking the edge off of the inside of the shell or the button, but I just do both of them just to be on the safe side. And again, like, you can see that there's no plastic residue. There's hardly any. Look, you can see here how much is on this blade. I'll try to get some close-up shots here. But yeah, that's as much as I took off, honestly. So very little, very little. It's and if it's a sharp enough knife, you're just touching it. You're just kind of like scraping. It's like skin cells, pretty much. That's it. So now, I mean, honestly, the video yesterday, I could hit it once and get it stuck, and 1 out of 3 hits at least would get it stuck now. So there we go. So now I've got both of these, both different colors, and that's it. So I've got 2 wireless controllers that work for the Saturn. Retrobit, if you see this, I fixed it myself. You guys were not responding to my emails. I was not going to send it off to you and spend 4 to 6 weeks with it. I mean, no, it's all right. You guys just get it right on the next batch. Have a good one.